الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وبعد. Liberalism has an entire agenda that they have been working on for decades and decades and decades. When I was studying at a college in Texas, the teacher said that in the early 1900s or something, the books that were being taught to students removed the mention of hell and paradise and other things. So my response was, this is why so many of those people who study in public schools today have no fear from Allah, from God, because they removed mention of God from their books and removed the mention of hell. So these students are thinking there is nothing after this life, there is no hell. What's hell? And they commit crimes the generations before us never experienced. Heinous crimes, unbelievable crimes. They target the innocent, the children who did not do them any wrong, go shoot. Those who have fear from Allah, from God, from hellfire, it will prevent them from doing these crimes. At least, and this is still unacceptable, it's still a crime, they shouldn't do that. You have a problem with somebody, why are you shooting all these other people who did not do you any wrong? So, for decades they have been working until they took over the educational system in America, literally. They want to create creatures that do not recognize any religion as theirs. They want to detach them from their culture, religion, from being subservient in many ways to their parents, who are the ones who teach them from birth all kinds of things, including their culture, their religion, the code of honor that they have. They want to remove all that and give it to the teachers. And the teachers, instead of teaching math, science, history, the correct history, geography, other sciences, now they're just giving them books about queerdom, I mean, what do you want me to call it? And they are instructing young children on the sexual preferences of some people, teaching them to encourage their devil through the whispers of these teachers and these books to think about what is unthinkable. Because boys and girls, they know they're boys and they know they're girls. Boys, they know they are boys. Girls, they know they are girls. But they're trying to teach them that what you see, what you have, is not necessarily what you think. So the biology says that this is a boy, this is a girl. They're saying, forget about biology, it's about a feeling. What do you feel today? Go with your feeling. And we'll give you money from the taxpayers' money without their permission to, if you want to have hormones to change your sex or to be gay. And this is what they're telling those students by the fact that they are instructing them sexually about the sexual preferences of other people, adults mainly. So liberalism has reached this point, and they are at a war, a major war, against those who are trying to keep the rights of parents to teach their children their culture, their code of honor and conduct. They want to take that from parents. In fact, they are complaining about parents who are telling them there are no T's, transgender people. So some women were at the YMCA, there is YW, women. For some reason, they were in the locker room, I think, changing clothes in front of each other, women. For some reason, I don't know why they're doing that. Or it was the bathroom, whatever. So this man, who claims that he's a woman, goes into the bathroom of the women with a youngster, a girl, exposing his penis to them. So they went to court, and the man said, the administration gave me permission to go to the women's bathroom or locker room. I'm not really, disgusting. I don't even want to know where he went, but I know he went to expose himself because he went with a feeling. The feeling is, I am a man. I know I am a man. Biologically, I am a man. I'd like to see women naked, half naked, or expose myself to women. And therefore, what's the best way today to do it? Put a wig on and say, I am a woman. Yeah, my ID says Joan, but I am Joanna, or Gianna, or Jeannie. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Okay, yes, of course. Here is the women's bathroom, women's locker room, and go. So he went, and they took him to court, and he won the case. The judge said that he was given permission, so indecent exposure, sexual exposure to women, to people, to girls, it's not a crime anymore. It is because this guy woke up and said, I feel today that I am a woman. By the way, you don't hear about many cases where a woman who wakes up in the morning and says, I feel I am a man, going to men's locker room or men's bathroom. You see, it's always that direction. Which leads me to think and talk about the liberal movement trying for decades and decades to push girls and women to sports, where they wear these indecent clothes. Did you hear me well? Okay, here. I have my asthma, so I'll try to talk as loud as I can. Indecent, dishonorable clothes that these women wear, so that women, freedom, equality, be quality, see quality, just women, have the freedom to do sports like men. And what do? The liberals push the T's, transgender people, men who claim to be women falsely, not biologically, and women who claim to be men falsely, not biologically. So they claim that those men who claim to be women have the right to be and share and practice and race and run and basketball, whatever it is, as women. The clear disadvantage is that men that men are stronger than women. So running in a race is not equal. I don't accept women doing this kind of sports. They can do sports that are Islamically allowed, even Christian culture, Jewish culture. They have rulings about this on their own. No men, they do some sports, but not all sports, and not wear those indecent clothes. You heard me right, huh? Indecent clothes. So they push the tees to women's sport. And many girls, not women's, also girls, and many of those girls and women are complaining, this is not fair. This is a man. He has all the facilities of a man. All the facilities of a man. And they're racing with us. We can't compete. They're stronger. But the liberals are going crazy about it. So for decades, they tried and succeeded to push women and girls to practice sports that led them to wearing those indecent clothes. Coaches are men, and you know about the horrific incidents where the girls were sexually abused by the men who were their doctors. Coaches are men. Who's watching them? Men. Camera, men. So what they did is that they pushed those women into man's world more and more and more. And they succeeded, sadly. So they said, maybe, they didn't say that, this is what it looks like. I mean, for certain. Yeah, we succeeded. Now let's ruin what we started decades ago and push men to compete with women and girls in sports. See, they're ruining their own plan because they wanted the woman to come, compete. Now let's bring men again to the world of women and girls so they can compete with them and win. Because even if some women are stronger than some men, this is not the general, situation or stance or whatever you want to call it. The general way is that men are stronger than women, and women lose when they compete with men. You don't see women pushing to be in men's sports. I know there is, the football kicker, that girl, but can she compete with the team when they are like running like crazy and going on top of each other and all these concussions and they've somebody falls, you find 15 people on top of them. Can she do that? Can she do that? So there isn't much of a movement to push women who pretend to be men to men's sports, because she's gonna lose too. Plus she might not get something good sexually out of it, such as rape, sexual abuse that is rampant in the sports that men do to women, famous men, football players, basketball players. They tarnish the image of the other people who don't do that, who may be the majority. But pushing women who pretend to be men to use men's bathroom doesn't exist. That movement from that side, it doesn't exist, because the consequences will be horrific. and even the women who pretend to be men might not want to go to men's bathroom. But the girls, let's ruin what we started and push men to compete with women. Also, liberals, and I want to repeat this almost every time I talk about this topic, Allah willing, insha'Allah, the liberal agenda is founded on taking the responsibility of raising kids according to the family's background, culture, code of honor, and give it to the liberal teachers. Teaching those kids everything that contradicts with their culture, with their traditions, with their code of honor, creating creatures that do not recognize any religion. Everything is the same, all religions are the same. No need for religion. Create somebody who doesn't have a religion and who might be hostile to other religions, talking about the creation, about God, about hell, no, it's just, you see, there was nothing, then something came, and with a bang, according to them. So it's not only a bang, it's not only a big bang, it is the Big Bang. And then you see all this universe that we can't even see a fraction of. It all came from nothing and it's going to nothing. But it's Mother Earth who's doing all that stuff, rain and storms and trees and all that stuff. They go and hug trees, take the kids to hug trees. They think that the earth created them. So their whole agenda is to detach the children they teach, where they indoctrinate them on not being religious or having any code of honor, respect for religions or anything. They want to detach them from all of that. So they teach that at public schools at the expense of the taxpayers who reject this. It's their money, but they can't control it. Public schools are run by so many liberal teachers because the conservative teachers in public schools could be expelled very quickly if they object to schools giving young children books that teach about the sexual preferences of people. This is sexual abuse, isn't it? Sexual abuse. So their agenda is anti-religion, anti-honor, anti-family, especially parents, anti-having any religious preference of any type. Therefore, bringing kids to school paid for by taxes of the people without their consent, their agreement, and disregarding their objection, and teach them all this filth. It's filth, isn't it? It's filth. Muslims, as I said many times, I say it again, for Allah's sake, wake up. Wake up. Have groups of masajid and Islamic institutions and centers come together to form a movement that resists this filth, because so many Muslims are sending their children to public school. Why? It's money. Money do money. Islam school is expensive. I can't afford it. Send them to public school. How about homeschooling? Homeschoolings, maybe. How about homeschooling, which is allowed under the Constitution of the United States? Keep your Muslim kids at home. Don't expose them to this absolute filth that will destroy, devastate their religion. And then, after years of sending these kids to public school, you come and complain, my son, my daughter, they have gay friends. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? My son, my daughter are committing zina. We heard that. What do you want me to do? You sent them there and then expected them to be what? I mean, you send them to public schools and expect them to be like Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, who rejected and refused the sexual desire of the wife of the king to fulfill that desire. He refused. He rejected. He didn't do it. Allah saved him from that. So you expect your son to be Yusuf and your daughter to be like Maryam, the mother of Isa alayhi salam, the best woman, a human woman of her time, maybe of all time. La ilaha illallah. So don't expose your children at a young age to this filth and then expect them to come back and establish the salah and the zakah and the hajj and the fasting as you would want from them, because you're a Muslim, your children are Muslim, but you expose them to that. The consequences are horrific in so many cases. I have not seen many young people who studied at public school who remained good Muslims. It was a struggle for them. So wake up, Muslims. Once I was talking to a good brother who tries to follow the Sunnah about homeschooling. I said homeschooling is for free, and the reason why so many families don't do homeschooling is that the mother doesn't want to bother with it, or the mother can't stand her kids, so send them out for a few hours, or she cannot do it because of her standard of education. So not all evil reasons. Some are evil reasons, some are not. Maybe most of them are not. But this is the consequence of sending children to public school. We spoke about it, and then I came to and realized that his son goes to public school. And so he was talking, public school, public school, public school. I asked him, you're a middle-aged man, a Muslim, you have a beard, like me. Try to fix my beard, it's going that direction. Alhamdulillah, I have a beard. Muslim men should have beard. This man had a beard, was a man who prays and fasts, and tries to do good. But he sends his son, who was maybe 15, 16 at that time, has been sending his son to public school. I said to him, well, since you are defending public school, let me ask you a question. You're like in the middle 40s. If I send you today, you, to public school to study there, what do you say about that? He says, this is fitna. Wallah, he said that. He said, it's a fitna for me. It's a trial for me. I said, it's a trial for you. And you're a married man, practicing Muslim, a full-grown man, but it's not a fitna for your son? I left it at that, and I have no idea if that son, who was a good man, continued in this fitna. So many things we have to say. Muslims have to wake up to the plan the liberals have for your children, giving them books about people who have sex in the ass. I have to use this word. So you can understand how filth is filth. They like to have sex with each other, two men. Or John has two fathers. La ilaha illallah. Like they say, it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Or so and so has two mothers. They're teaching young children this filth, but they don't teach them children that most people have a mother and a father. They don't talk about the effect of a young boy or a young girl growing up in a gay family where they miss the other, parent. Maybe the baby is bought from somebody like modern day slavery. They hire a woman, modern day slavery for money. She carries the baby, gives birth, and then gives it up so that Botolego and his husband, the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of Transportation, in charge of the security and safety of the nuclear weapons. They call him something, his name, I call him Botolego. They have a son or a daughter, and when it was born, they showed themselves like wearing some cap on the head, and looks like his husband gave birth to the baby. Who's the mother? Who's the mother of that baby that will grow up with everybody, almost everybody these days, having a father and a mother? Each one has their own role in the growing up of those children, but this baby doesn't have a mother. The effect that will take a lifetime to get rid of, if ever, is devastating to the psyche of those children. They don't have the passion of the mother, the care of the mother, the love of the mother. They have two people who might not be biologically related to the baby saying, we have a son. And that Anderson guy on CNN, he has a baby. Wouldn't say where it came from, and but he's separated from his partner, a man. What about those children who grow up in same-sex marriage families? What about them? What about their rights? Their rights to have a mother smiling at them, especially when they're young, and smiling throughout their life, but more when they're young, taking care of them, showing them the female compassion and love. They lose that. They see the faces of Botolego and his husband. Muslims, wake up, wake up, wake up. Your children are more important than money, and you are responsible for your children with Allah on the day you go back to Allah. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us knowledge in the religion and righteousness in creed, statement and action. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.